Yo, yo, yo. Yo, what up, what up? How are we doing today? Did the Wi-Fi extender stop working? Is it lagging? Shouldn't be. Let me check the settings. It should be good. I think it should be good. Should be good. Are we lagging? Let me see. Let me check. I have a different webcam this time as well. So, not a better one, it's a worse one actually. I think it's fine right now. Yeah, it should be fine. Alright. First of all, how were you guys this trading week? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, guys. Because FOREX this week was absolutely clean. I'm not gonna lie. Good morning, Yank. How are you doing, man? Alright, so today on the schedule, right, we're gonna break down price action from this week. Then see what I might think will happen next week. We'll break down a time frame alignment model sequence. So if you guys are interested in that, obviously when you join, probably you're interested in that. And I hope the next couple of weeks we actually get this kind of price action. This was absolutely beautiful. And unlike this stuff or this stuff, right, that's absolutely horrible to trade. But when you have a week like this, it's pristine. I'm not gonna lie. It looks absolutely beautiful. Butter. EUGU cooked. Yeah. It was absolutely magnificent. And we ran all the targets as well, right, this week. So if you go to the daily, right, the target for this weekly candle were these lows here, right? So what does that mean? Do we look for another entry during New York session, expecting this to run even deeper? Personally, I don't like that, because the weekly target has been hit. I like to have this intact and be in a trade beforehand, which I was, right? And we might see a little bit slower price action. We have a 4-hour fair value gap left behind, right? So it might tag it in there and see how that develops, but the best setups were early in the week, man. Like I took a short from this high here. I took another short here. And I closed everything below this low. And that's about that. That was the entire move for the week, in my opinion. And I didn't take an entry here because that's a smart money reversal. I'm always a strong believer of waiting for a low risk sell to print or a low risk buy, right? And then look for an opportunity. However, I was expecting a high of the week to be set here. So low risk entry here, full risk entry here, right? That's the way to go. Only Thursday was clean? No. This is a nice run up above a daily opening price and then a drop, so this was good. This was definitely clean, yeah. Thursday was the cleanest, definitely. That's definitely true. I've just done nothing this week, but I'm main indices. Been working on other stuff. I see. How was indices treating you this week then? Alright, let's look what's going on over here. Let's look at DXY. Let me remove all this kind of stuff. Man, it's such a beautiful week. And the buy side is still intact on DXY, right? Which means if they don't run it today, it's gonna be left behind for next week. That's gonna be good. And I can already see where I wanna participate. Do you guys see it? Pull up the... how do I get this... the symbol here in the top left? I need the symbol in the top left. Where is it? Name symbol? Why don't I see the label? Does anybody know why I don't see the label in the top left? We can see it in the middle, but it's very small. What up, OTC? How we doing, man? How we doing? 10 AM Joel's news? Yep, we have news. Right, so that could give the last push to finish off that buy side liquidity. That's definitely... right click on the watermark thing. I don't know. No, normally there's like a symbol in the top left. I don't know where it is right now. Should be a label. I don't see the price line either. There we go. Right click on the candle settings status line symbol. You are a legend, Wickhead. Thank you. That's what I wanted to see, because then you can see the actual broker of the thing of the chart, right? So hypothetically speaking, right? If news doesn't run the buy side, what price level are you guys expecting price to go higher from? Give me an amount. What do you guys think? You can say like 99.9 or 99.7, you know? Let me know in the chat. Where do you think? If we don't run the high, where in this piece is the retracement coming? Hello, I found your channel and I watch a lot. I still have some questions. You can go ahead and ask them here. That's why I'm live today. Right, if you guys have questions about time frame alignment model or anything, we're gonna touch on them, you know. Patata split says 99.56. 99.56. Okay, hold on. 99.56. Okay, so you're looking for this, right? Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Where is that on the daily? That would mean we need a swing high and we need a retracement back in the volume imbalance. Not bad, not bad. I like it. 99.4 from Jurek Jersey. 99.4. Okay, so you guys are all looking for like a deeper run lower. That 99.4 means the next weekly candle needs to go back into previous weekly low. That sounds pretty deep. Sounds pretty deep. Alright, so let's map out current weekly low. Where is that on the 4 hour? Of course it doesn't appear. Visibility. Or was the line not... Or am I blind? Hold on. Oh, that's 98.4. Never mind, I'm retarded. Wow, this weekly candle is absolutely massive. 99.4, not in 98. It's like 98. 98.4 is very deep. 99.4. That means the weekly candle will just immediately rebalance it and then continue. I see. That would be daily FEG and volume imbalance. Not bad, not bad. $99.9 is a good place until 99.82. Okay, so you're expecting a run on this low and then a reversal. That makes a lot of sense for a continuation purge, right? If you're looking for another run today. Personally, I like this. Personally, I like this. If we leave it intact, right? Because we have 10 AM news, so 10 AM news might just run it and then reverse, right? That's possible. I like this gap here. What's up, Enger ENGR Xerit? I don't know how to pronounce your name. That's some crazy name. I short on GU and still holding because of DXY target not hit yet. What do you suggest? I can't advise you on anything, but I'm out already because this low was the target for the week, right? This is literally, this is what your weekly expansion is. If you're a swing trader though, right? I don't know where you entered. Let's say you entered all the way up here, right? Then you can hold, obviously. But if you entered yesterday or today even, right? It could, you never know. It could also go back to this gap, right? You never know, but just gotta be aware. If a major liquidity pool gets purged, that's when you want to take profits. That's what I do, at least. What about TGIF? Possible, yeah, possible. Possible because we already ran the previous weekly low and we have a big expansion, right? So, personally, I'm not a fan of TGIF. The reason is because it's against a higher time frame order flow, right? So I prefer not to trade a retracement, but I do trade them, but with low risk, right? When can a fair value gap get invalidated? It depends on where it's situated. Depends. Candle closure is the most important part. That's what you should focus on. Definitely. Lance Singer 0.76. 0.76. Okay. So you're basically just looking for this fair value gap to get filled up and then continuation. Let's see. I would say it depends on candle closure. Daily candle closure. Well, no. Because the thing is, if we close above here, right, above the previous daily candle, we can just use this area here. But let's say this daily candle closes down here, like a swing point formation, right? It could do a deeper dive back down here, right? So you have the most information when you wait for the candle closure. Well, we're aiming for this and look at the range, right? There's so much room. Not every day is going to be a buy day, obviously. You have to be aware you can get this kind of price action, right? And this is terrible to trade, but when you get this, it's magnificent. I expect the euro to reach where it is now, but I didn't catch anything. What do I need to improve? You need to look at why you didn't enter, because I don't know your entry model, but there were a lot of opportunities to get in. Even, there were definitely two opportunities. Yeah, the first one was this one, the fair value gap here. If you don't want to trade a low risk sell on the 1 hour market maker sell model, you trade any continuation purge. This is the continuation purge, which is most clear with a key level. So that's definitely the one setup you could have taken. But I don't know what kind of model you trade, right? So I can't advise you on that. Okay, please show SMT on Thursday. Thursday? I mean, I know it already because GU did not take out these highs, I think. Or it was here. Yeah, it was here, pretty sure. Yeah, so we took out the high here. And then you have SMT during Asia. Right, these highs here. I was not awake for this. If I was awake, I probably would have shorted here again, but I woke up when the candle was here. Which is 2 AM. Which is... It was 7 AM for me. So I'm still asleep then. If DXY already hit weekly target at this news, do you still expect price action to go lower for continuation higher? I mean, if it runs, look, if this news runs the high, it's probably gonna either consolidate or retrace slowly, but I don't think it will do a deep dive. That's for next week's candle, right? How was the second one? The continuation purge. Market didn't come to premium of the range, and there was no SMT. So you don't need SMT on a continuation purge. Let's see. Yeah, that's a very good question. It didn't come into premium, but who knows? Who knows why it's still valid? Let's see if this is the range. Yep. Who knows why this continuation purge is still valid? If you know it, you are on the right way. I will break it down in a bit. Can you break down your EU trade, please, for the sake of for the shake of new to your? Okay, yeah, I will break it down in a bit. Yeah, for sure. There was SMT on Asia highs. Yeah, this is valid because there's SMT, but also market cycles, right? If you look at market cycles, you have this, and then you have this, like that, red, and then you have this. So we have a retracement, right? Order pairing the high, expansion. This is where I sold, by the way. And then you have a consolidation, and a consolidation doesn't mean there's a retracement, so it doesn't have to go back to premium, right? There's nothing in premium to go back into. Everything has been balanced, right? So the cycle will be, right? Let me remove this arrow. It's very important to understand this. The cycle will be damn it, come on. Retracement, expansion, consolidation, expansion. And now we don't know if it will consolidate and then retrace and drop again, or it's gonna retrace today and then drop again, right? That's also possible. But really focus on the market cycle. It's very important. It's really important. All right, New York bread and butter Bay, my brother. See you in the private session later. Yeah, see you in a bit, man. Need to do some homework before the Zoom call. Yeah, gotta do it. Yeah, and journaling is very important as well, right? You need to collect everything you can data wise, and that's gonna give you the confidence to execute as well. Let's look at Euro GBP. What are we expecting here? Next weekly candle is probably going to be bearish as well, but I want to see it run previous weekly high. So we'll go back into the daily fair value gap, right? And then we can have something like this. And then a drop again. This looks very nice. If we can get this. So short-term pound will be weaker than the euro. Until it starts to die again here. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. All right, let's break down the EU trade. Right, so let's do an entire top down, right? That's gonna be where we start off, because you anticipate your trade setup with a higher time frame understanding. If you don't analyze the higher time frame, it doesn't matter what you're doing on 1 hour or 4 hour. If you don't understand what's going on the weekly and daily, it's gonna be really difficult. Okay, so let's go to the weekly. Look at last week, right? And think about what's going on in the world right now, right? With the war, Iran, USA, Israel, all that kind of shitty scenarios, but it will pump a lot of volatility in the market. That's why we had this big candle last week, right? Are you expecting after such a big run lower that we're going to reverse? No, right? Because there's a lot of bearish pressure macroeconomically, right? So our higher time frame understanding should be we want to go lower. Even if we look at the monthly candle, it opened up. Previous one was an inside bar. And this is just running heavily towards the sell side. We already purged the high here. right? So that's our higher time frame understanding. Let's go to the daily. Two things can happen here, right? Because if we, let me remove this from the daily time frame. Yep. Right, so two things can happen here. This is what makes it a lot harder to trade, because we don't know if this will retrace back into this fair value gap and then drop, or if it's gonna go sideways and then expand again. This is the same scenario I just showed you on the 1 hour as well, right? This is the same scenario. It goes sideways and then expands again. This is the trick I use a lot if you don't know what cycle you're in, what cycle you're in. Remove the wicks. What does it look like right now? Right? Does anybody do this, by the way? What kind of cycle do we have? Expansion, consolidation, expansion, right? There's a neat little trick. Obviously, you want to see the wicks because you want to see where the liquidity gets purged or that we actually hit a key level. But opening and close prices are very, very important when you're determining cycles here, right? So we went into this fair value gap, right? It's not in premium, but we're consolidating on a daily, open, close wise. Do we need to go here? Only valid if we have SMT. Let's go to DXY. DXY did not go into the daily fair value gap, right? So what we can determine after letting Monday pass and Tuesday give us the confirmation, we can trade Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday until we reach the sell side target, right? That's our understanding of the higher time frame. Let's go to the 4H, right? We have a purge with SMT on the highs in the key level, engulfing candle here. So this is an OB, right? This is where the low risk sell prints. Ideally, you want to trade the next leg down, right? That's what I did as well. I took a lower risk sell on the low risk sell. That's why it's called low risk, right? So if we go to the 1 hour, Monday, big pump up, taking out all the liquidity here, right, into the key level. 4 hour and daily giving us confirmation. So I can short on Wednesday, right? Because the daily candle closure indicates it's not willing to trade higher anymore. And we have a smart money reversal. And extremely important that there's SMT on the highs, right? That's very, very important. Without SMT on the highs, I would not short, right? So I shorted here. This is literally just an OTE entry, right? Like if you go for premium and discount, you can literally short a premium array here. And then it should go lower. Now we have a confirmation because this is the low risk sell, right? This is low risk sell. Now we have a confirmation that we're going into first stage distribution. There should be another opportunity to get in, right? But do you have something to work with here, right? On a 1 hour, no, there's nothing to work with, right? If you look at the 4H, is in an expansion phase. It's very unlikely to have a retracement. Right, that's important to understand. Think back about the market cycles again, right? If you understand what market cycle, the time frame above you, right, is a hierarchy. It's a hierarchy, it's very important. If the 4 hour is in an expansion phase, you can expect the 1 hour either to consolidate or retrace back into a premium array of that smaller range, right? Because the 4 hour is not going to retrace, the lower time frame is going to retrace, and that's a wick, right? Took me very long to understand how to use the hierarchy in time frames. Right? Do we get a retracement into premium? No, right? So there's no re-entry possibility, in my opinion here, because it just keeps expanding. Maybe you could have taken this one, but I don't like that. There's no real key level or anything on this time frame, right? So I would not catch anything in the entire 4 hour expansion here, but I caught the high. That's the important part here. Next day, we know the 4H is in an expansion phase still. We have this fair value gap formed here. We have nothing above us. We know there's nothing above us because everything has been balanced already, right? Everything has been repriced into. So what does price do? It creates an open high into the next available fair value gap. And this is where you order pair the 1 hour, right? This is classic time frame alignment model, 4 hour key level into 1 hour order pairing sequence, right? So if you look at this, you can short above the high, put your stop loss on the most recent 1 hour range, right? And then you target the lows, right? Let's see, where was 2R? 2R was around here, right? So I closed this for 2R. But in the end, obviously, No, I held this one actually. I closed GU at 2R, right? I closed GU around here. Yeah, because I shorted here and I closed around here. Or actually here, because it was already 2R. But you can hold this towards sell side, which is this. This is the setup, right? It's a 4R setup. You don't need to have your stop loss all the way up here. There's nothing above us. We have an expansion, consolidation, expansion cycle. So why should we go back above this when we already have a new range formed, right? And there's SMT on these highs as well, right? So this is the setup, right? And that's how you approach time frame alignment model, 4 hour to 1 hour sequence. You could have done the same during Asia over here, but personally I would not take this. Maybe continuation on the lower time frame, but I don't like trading lower than the 1 hour anymore. And 1 hour is absolutely the best time frame in my opinion. You only need SMT at S smart money reversal, not the continuation leg down. Not necessarily, no, but you need it. This is the important part. You need it on a reversal. The reversal needs to have SMT. If you have an intraday continuation purge and there's no SMT, you can still take it because it should order pair highs back to the lows. If there's no SMT, it's fine. If there is SMT, it's good because you know the relative strength of the currencies, right? But the most important part is that the smart money reversal needs to have SMT in a key level. That's the most important, right? On the 15-minute, this Wednesday move was clean for entry. I mean, yeah, probably. I don't trade the 15-minute anymore. I just do 1 hour. I'm not a high octane trader anymore on the 5, 1 minute, 15 minute. I just do 1 hour entries, and that's I'll just keep my stop loss at the range high. If we run the sell side, I take my profits, right? That's how I trade. 1 hour order pairing doesn't have SMT. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't have to have it. It's better if it does, but it's not a... You have hard rules, right? The hard rule is if you're expecting a reversal, so a smart money reversal, you need to have SMT. That's a hard rule. If there's no SMT, it's a lower probability smart money reversal. If intraday, you already know you're in an expansion phase and there's no SMT on a continuation purge, still fine. But it's better if it's there. It's just a quality thing, right? Been looking back and I've been trading market maker models but don't recognize it. But my issue is I cannot know which is high probability. So again, like repeat, high probability smart money reversal into a key level with SMT. That's a high probability smart money reversal. You stop trading the 15 minutes? Yeah, basically. I only look at it for trade management. So let's say the GU trade, for example, right? Let's see, where was it? Yeah, so I entered, I think I entered like around here, and I had an entry here and here. Well, if I see price run into the range, right, the stop loss should be here, right? That's where the stop loss should be. If it starts to displace with fair value gaps, right, then retraces and then drops back down and the closure is down here, now I can go break even, right? Because I know this is being respected and I use it for trade management. I will not go break even. Let's say I shorted this high and this went down and this candle closed here. I wouldn't close my trade. Let it breathe inside of the range, right? They're engineering equal highs here for New York session, which happened here, right? So New York session, kill zone opens here and then goes back into premium, running all the London highs, and then it drops, right? The previous session high run is always possible, especially if they engineer it to be equal, right? So that's what occurred over here. So let your trade breathe, don't micromanage it, right? How many times did you get stopped out at break even and price moves in your favorite direction, right? That's the most infuriating thing, right? What's the average risk to reward while trading on the hourly? I typically do 2R. I can hold for like 3. Depends on what the weekly target is. So for example on GU I took 2R because I was expecting this low to get run. I wasn't sure if we were going all the way down here. But as soon as we did, I just held on to the EU trade, right? So EU was closed down here, which was a 3R trade, I think. This was 25. Yeah, a little bit over 3R. But 2R for me is fine, because 2R you only need like 33% win rate to be break even. Now that doesn't sound like a whole lot, does it? How to use SMT on smart money reversal? Which one, EU or GU? What do you mean, which one? It doesn't matter on which one it happens. Ideally it happens on EU if you're doing, if you're correlating DXY, right? Because DXY did not take out this low. And EU did take out the high, which makes it even better, right? Because these two are highly correlated, right? 57% of DXY is euro, right? The pound is less correlated to DXY, but you can use EU and GU the same way. These are correlated together. No high purge here, but we did a high purge on EU, right? That's how you use it. My mistake for EU was I was waiting for price action to rate 115.743 because I didn't really like the equal highs. 115.743. 743. $115.743. Oh, you mean these? No, that does not need to get run. This is a consolidation cycle, and then we're going into the next cycle, which is expansion, right? So it doesn't need to go above this cycle here. Oh, hold on. A package has arrived. I need to open the door. Be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to receive a package. Yeah, so we're talking about that consolidation, right? Think about market cycles, very important. Can you check gold real quick, please? Yes, let's see. Man, I'm all out of breath from running up and down the stairs. What the hell? I'm such in bad condition, man. I don't even smoke or drink or anything. This looks like it can tank lower, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Because if you look at the range, this is the last like big range. We're just slowly creeping up into premium, then we drop, break below, run the highs here, and we drop again. Right, so we have cycles here. Continuation, purge, expansion, consolidation, expansion, reversal, consolidation. Right, so it could do this and then this, or it will just run lower. This is what it looks like to me on the 4 hour. Daily is holding this fair value gap as well. Candle closure below the previous candles. Relative equal lows. So yeah, personally I wouldn't trade this, but like structure wise it looks like it's gonna drop. Yep, pretty much. You caught that UU trained, all thanks to you. Nice, Kim Mondi. Let's go, man. Yeah, a lot of people ate in the Discord this week. We had a couple of slow weeks. I will make sure to post like a weekly review on the last couple of weeks actually. So like my February was extremely slow. I could barely find any proper setups. And a lot of people were in the same boat as me, right? Look at this. This is very difficult to find like a proper setup. But now it's turning back into something beautiful again. So we just gotta be conservative on the risk when we have this kind of price action. And when we have this, for example, in January, we had a really good January, right? February was pretty ass, and now in March is starting to pick up again, so I'm very excited. The second quarter should be pretty good. It's almost the end of the first quarter, right? Now 2 more weeks, two or 3 more weeks. But yeah, you just gotta be patient. That's the thing, right? Everybody wants to go quick. We want to make quick money. There's no quick money, right? There's no quick money. Trust me. If you start rushing and you want to pass the challenge, you want to make some money, and not focus on the process and actually executing high quality setups, right? You're gonna get fucked up, bro. Like that's just how it is. There were 2 ads in the live stream. Really? Okay, I need to get rid of the ads. Sorry about that. I wasn't aware ads are on. What do you think for lower prices on gold? Yes, that's what I think. That's actually higher probability. Got stopped out at EU in a 50-minute entry on the first low-risk sell, sadly. I got all the levels right, drawn liquidity right too. So what did we learn? Fuck the 50-minute time frame and only execute on the 1 hour on Forex. It's the best. It's not even a trust me, bro, but it is literally the truth. Like the 1 hour on Forex is a lot better to trade than a 15 or a 5. Especially not the 1 minute. The thing that grinds my gears the most, if I see somebody trading GBP USD with a 3 pip stop loss, I instantly think you're a retard. So that's that. So if you're the guy who trades with a 3 pip stop loss on GU, you're a certified retard. Yep. So you're more of a swing trader? No, it's not a. I'm not a swing trader. I'm an intraday trader, right? Because yesterday, this move happened in 1 day. That's it. This is not a swing trade. Even if you hold for 2 days, it's not swing trading. Swing trading is holding for more than a couple of days, 3 to 4 days to like a week or 2 weeks. Right, that's swing trading. I close within the same day or maybe the next day. Depends on how fast price action is, right? So no, I'm not a swing trader. Are you in a long on EU right now? Are you watching my MetaTrader right now? No, I'm good. I'm good. Weekly candle's done. Are you expecting the TGIF setup today? But it would be against higher time frame order flow. Like TGIF's always against higher time frame order flow. But yeah, it looks like it. But we have news, right? In 19 minutes, 18 minutes. News might dump it again, right? But because DXY has equal highs. We didn't run the highs here. I hope they leave it intact though. That's what I hope. Because I want to see something like this. Right, a drop in here and then a continuation. That's what I want to see. But I'm just a guy, you know. Do you have a cold or something? Were you sneezing bad? Why are you red? What the fuck are you talking about, man? I have a red beard, man. Come on. Don't hate on me. It's the cam color saturation, yeah. I have a different cam today. Normally I have like a high quality camera. Literally like a 2K, 3K Euro camera, but I don't know where it is. My wife uses this for her photo shoots. But I don't know where it is, so I had to pull up the old school webcam, the old Logitech webcam, so... I can lower the saturation actually. Let's see. Right, less red. What do you think of the lower prices on gold? I already told you I like it. Like you asked earlier as well. I said I like it. How many pairs do I trade? Just 2, EU and GU. That's it. Don't need anything else. Nasdaq. Yes, my favorite asset. The asset that looks like a fucking barcode. Yeah, this is my favorite. I don't trade this, by the way. I don't trade index funds. I don't trade indices. I don't trade gold. I don't trade oil. I don't trade Bitcoin. I don't trade crypto. I don't trade gasoline. I don't trade wheat. I don't trade corn or lean hogs. I don't trade soya beans. I just trade EU and GU. That's it. These two. That's it. You don't need anything else. You were just about to ask about lean hogs? Yeah. Yeah, let's look at the lean hogs. There we go. Lean hog futures. It's pretty high up, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty expensive. Barbecue season is coming in a couple of months. Surely prices will be in discount then, and then it will rise. Why not? Because I have the highest strike rate and I know where EU and GU go like almost 90% of the time. And with indices and all the kind of other assets, I'm not confident, so I will just stick with where I have the best data on, which is EU and GU, right? UJ? Higher, right? Woo! We took out the buy side, so yes. It did its thing. God damn, what a drop, man. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole right now. Could be, this is the same thing, right? If DXY actually retraces lower, this could have a retracement for the next weekly candle into the gap here. And then we should see another run higher. That's the most logical thing. Yup. Do you have children? I do not have children. I have a dog though, but... From 0 to 24. I remember your comments on my videos. Thank you for the kind feedback. On evaluation phase, do you use 2% and during fund 0.5% to 1%? Yep, that's about it. Depends on the firm as well. Some firms don't allow you to do like more than 1% on evaluation as well, so... But yeah, typically first trade just 2%. If I get a 2R, 3R, I'm already halfway there, you know? Bro switched cameras and now he looks like a princess from an old fairy tale book waiting in the castle tower. And bro, like, come on, man. Like, I don't know where the camera is, okay? I had to pull out this old-ass webcam. You know? It's actually plugged in with a USB, so the battery can die. News might just pump GU back into this gap, actually. That would be the most sensible move. Same with Euro. Euro might even take out these highs. When we'll have SMT then, right? Because we're already in the gap here, but not on GU, right? So that could occur. We did run all the massive sell side, so it could have a bigger retracement. That's what I'm saying. Even lean hog is better than Nasdaq. Yep. I mean, Nasdaq is more of a scalp asset in my opinion. But where are they gonna move Nasdaq when the fucking uncertainty is that high? It's not gonna pump because it's not good for the economy. There's all this war and stuff. And they're desperately holding this in a range before it dies. I'm pretty sure it's gonna die. Because this is expansion, running all the highs. Right? Reversal. And now it's consolidating for... Fuck, how long? 35 days. Sweet. And then you look at GU. Magnificent. You look at EU. Magnificent. Right? And this is the time for Forex. To know it pair inside and out, should I trade it longer time? Yeah, of course. You need to collect data, brother. That's the most important part. Journal is very, very, very important. You can only do that if you trade it for an extended period. And I've been trading EU and GU for 5 years now. Yep. Bomba Cloud Forex. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe GER 40 should be good. GER 40. I mean, it does look better than Nasdaq. Oh wait, it's 12 hour. Maybe next week a long retracement back into the Verville gap. That's the only thing I might see here. That's it. Run back into discount here. I don't know what asset we use for SMT with this one, but if there's SMT on this low risk buy, then we could expect these highs to get run next week and then drop again. It seems sensible. Yeah. Do you use strength switch? The hell strength switch? I do relative strength analysis, but I don't know what strength switch is. On EU and GU, do you take entry on both or choose only one? I do both. Depends on what Euro GBP is doing. Definitely. Yep. Mentor, give me the best advice in Forex, what to do. Best advice I can give you is do not slack on journaling and collect your data, because that's where you're actually gonna find the holy grail. It's inside of your journal. Here to say, hey Tom, haven't heard this voice in a while. Congrats on the success, my guy. Respect. Thank you, sir. Not sure. I don't recognize the username, but we probably have talked in the past then. But thank you for joining, brother. Do you use seasonal tendencies or is it a thing of the past? No, I don't use that. COT data, seasonal tendencies. They can all... I can't be bothered with that. I just trade pure price action, and yes, macroeconomically we pay attention. But if it is a confluence, then it's nice, but I don't base my entire analysis of seasonality and everything. Okay, we'll watch the news in like 7 minutes and then I'm gonna tap out. Did you catch oil longs? Oh, hell no. That shit was crazy, by the way, though. Look at that. Like this. God dang. You had to position yourself before that, though. Like, if you had yourself positioned like down here, then it would have been fucking crazy. Okay, let's see what news does in, what is it? 6 minutes. 6 minutes-ish. We'll talk a little bit psychology. Yes, guys, let's talk a little bit what personally helped for me, right? What I focused on is, it's probably, people might recognize it in themselves. But if you don't have a routine in your daily life, in your own personal life, right? One time you wake up at 6 a.m., one time you wake up at 10 a.m. because you did parties or whatever, you know, like you're not having a structured life is gonna suck in trading as well. Because if you can structure your life and stick to the structure, you will actually have discipline, right? Because discipline is very important. Because let's say, okay, now I wake up at 7 a.m. and then I wake up at 10 a.m. I miss the London session. Then I wake up at 1 p.m. because I was stayed up all night, right? All that kind of stuff is not good for you. Same with trading. Oh, now I'm going to take a trade at 2 a.m. Oh, now I'm going to take a trade just 2 hours before the candle closure, right? You're just fucking around. So make sure you have an actual structure in your life and stick to it, right? That's proof you can be disciplined. So you can do the same thing in trading. You can set your rules, right? I'm only going to execute when we have a certain daily candle closure. I'm only going to execute when the 4 hour has printed the lowest buy or lowest sell. I'm only going to execute when I have order pairing highs or lows. And you stick to that, right? If you can stick to real life structure, like waking up, having breakfast, going to the gym, you know, structurize everything. And with structure comes clarity, right? And that's one of the biggest things I think you can improve on. And it's also the easiest thing to improve on. How easy is it to wake up at 7 a.m. every morning? It doesn't matter if it's weekend or a weekday, you know, you wake up at the exact same time, and that's what you need to do. Prove to yourself you can be disciplined, and you will be in trading then as well. Why are you guys not active inside the Discord? Brother, what do you mean? I am active in the Discord. I'm there every day. Oropuro on Discord. Oh, yeah, I know you. Yeah. Had to leave because it was outside of my budget, but learning trading, scrolling on YouTube, and I see the stream. Time to dig into the content. Yes, sir. Make sure to watch all my videos, of course. I mean, there's so much on the channel which can be helpful. You only know when you watch it, of course. Okay, we have 3.5 minutes. And then we'll have news. I don't know if a lot will happen with the news because we already had a big expansion, but we'll see. We'll see. Realware Gene has bought a lot on those oil lows. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. That's amazing, man. He's a real G. He's now an oil shake. Do you like 6 p.m. opening or 12 a.m.? I mean, 12 a.m. EST opening is for daily profiles. I like both because you can see the open high low close on a daily candle from 6, or it's actually 5 p.m. opening, not 6. But you only use 12 a.m. EST for daily profiles, nothing else. Please tell me about entry model. I mean, it's like a very broad question. What do you need? What do I need to talk about? Like, be more specific, right? Specify. Very broad question. Where to place stop loss correctly? Mine is very big without reason. So you already know why it's incorrect, because you don't have a reason. So what should you do? You should find a reason in your structure where price should not go. That's where you place your stop loss. Right? So you look for strong highs and lows. That's your reason where your stop loss should be. Gonna show where the stop loss was in the entries? Yeah, of course. So the first entry here, well, is the obvious place, right? On the high of the smart money reversal. That's one. And then the second one above the high here, because there's no reason to go back in here. It's consolidation cycle, SMT on the highs, expansion, consolidation, retracement, order pairing, drop. Doesn't need to be all the way up here. This is fine. Let's go to the lower time frame. Let's see what they do. 30 seconds for the news, and then we'll kick it off. And we'll kick the weekend off. I'm gonna take a rest. Prepare some stuff for the weekend. Stop loss at SMT is my invalidation, but sometimes there's a fake SMT. Yeah, sometimes it happens. It's all probabilities in the end, right? It's not 100% guaranteed this high will stay intact because we have SMT on the high, right? It's not guaranteed. Price can do whatever the fuck it wants. Well, yeah, that's to be expected, honestly. To be honest. Do you use AMD cycle? Brother, my entire framework is AMD. That's the pinnacle of my model. Look at this. Accumulation, manipulation above the high, distribution. Very important. AMD. Love AMD. Okay, price is fuck all, so I'm gonna head off. No fireworks. Daily candle, weekly expansion has happened. I'm gonna take a rest. I'm gonna enjoy my weekend. Thank you for joining the YouTube live stream. I don't do this too often, but thank you for joining anyway. Maybe I'll be live next week again. I will see what the schedule is. There's a free Discord link in the description if you're not in the free Discord, or you want to join our private sessions, you can join that as well, also in the description. But for now, I wish you all a great weekend, and yeah, we'll catch you next week.